Hello everybody and welcome to the Daryl Talks podcast. Today is another episode of Keeping Up with the Lumsdon, so we have got Liz back on the sofa. So without further ado, welcome Liz.
Hello.
How are you?
I am exhausted. I'll tell you for why.
Here we go.
So, picture this. We're sat, it's piercing down with rain outside, sat on the sofa, watching the final of the Great British...
Do you want to say British again?
British Bake Off.
The
I didn't think that. I didn't sound right.
Sean Connery.
We are sat on the sofa watching the final of the Great British Bake Off. Now, I love a bit of Bake Off. Love it. Even better that it was the final. Fabulous. 5 minutes before the end, so just as they're about to tell us who the winner is, Jackson starts crying. Bugger.
And what a trooper I was.
What a trooper you were. You very kindly went upstairs, gave him his bottle, blah, 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 blah. Put him back to bed. Fantastic. Saw who won. Great. Upstairs I go. Well, it all started from that point then. Lyra decided, no, I don't want to sleep. In fact, I want to be awake. Really awake. So she's shouting, Mummy, 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 Daddy. So Daz goes into her. Well, that lasts about 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
I reckon it was a good solid 7.
7 minutes. And so then I go in. You come out, I go in.
Shake it all about.
Shake it all about. I say, right, Lyra, come on now. It's bedtime. Time to sleep. Well, an hour and a half later, I'm still sat in her bedroom because she's still awake. Not talking, she's just awake. Moving up and down the bed, wriggling around. But every time I go to leave, she gets upset. Okay? So you're in bed. I'm sat in Lyra's room. Jackson then starts crying again. You go in. Lovely. Great. Everyone is calm. 10:30 approaches. I thought, right, she's finally gone. She's finally gone to sleep. I creep out of her room. And you know the walk? You know where you're like on tiptoes and you hear every single little creak? It was like that. It was like that.
All too well.
Creep out the room. I literally walked into our bedroom. Oh, fuck's sake, here we go. Go back in. End up getting into bed with her because it's the only solution at this point. I'm exhausted. She should just be asleep. So I get into bed with her. Fine. She finally falls asleep. I think it was 5 to midnight.
I don't know because...
No, you don't know.
Gave up and went to sleep.
You did. You gave up and went to sleep. So I think it was about 5 to midnight. I was like, right, she's asleep. So then is the challenge of trying to get out of her bed. Got out of the bed, fine. Again, did the little creep, creep, creep walk. Got into our bed, literally led down, duvet across me, and Jackson starts crying. It's like, oh my God. So I then get up, go into him. He's not happy. He wants milk. So I then come downstairs, get milk, go upstairs. All the while, Daz is snoring. Get milk, see to Jackson. And during that time that I'm seeing to Jackson, giving him his milk, Lyra is now awake again. Mummy, Mummy, Mummy. Obviously, Daz is still asleep because I can still hear him snoring. Jackson goes back to bed. Lyra's still, Mummy, Mummy, Mummy. So I go back into Lyra. Come on now, it's bedtime. Blah, blah. I've got a cough. Have a drink. Fine. I end up getting back into bed with her until 6 o'clock this morning. So on and off all night, she was awake. And the easiest scenario was for me to stay in bed with her. Which, by the way, if you've ever shared a bed with a 2-year-old, is not ideal.
A single bed.
A single bed with your back up against the cold wall. So she's not against the wall. But she has got her face pressed against your cheek and then her arm over your neck. So you can't breathe with your back against the cold wall with this constant fidget and noise and chat.
I did offer.
No. You were sleeping the whole time.
No, I offered.
Snoring. We could hear you through the walls.
That is a lie because I woke up and I offered to go into Lyra's bed and bring Lyra in.
Yeah, but I didn't think it was going to take this long. But it clearly did. All night. So 6:05 this morning, Lyra wakes up. She's like, let's go into you. I was like, go to sleep. It's bedtime. She's like, no, Mummy, let's go and see Daddy. I was like, yeah, let's go and see Daddy. Let's go and wake Daddy up. Bugger me. Get into our room. Daddy's not even in there. You'd already woken up, gone downstairs, started your day. Lovely. So we get into our bed, and all Ira wants to do is see Daddy. She couldn't give a shit that Mummy had spent her entire night in bed next to her, entertaining her, trying to soothe her, everything. All she wanted was Daddy. So then you womble on up the stairs. Oh, she's all hugs and kisses and, oh, hello, Daddy. That's the thanks I get. So, I'm exhausted, shattered, want to go to bed. But here we are.
Not too tired to blab on for 5 minutes, really. Christ.
I just feel like you need to appreciate what I went through.
I can't even imagine. Genuinely. Because I was sleeping.
I know, I could hear you.
Also noticed that you haven't asked how I am.
I couldn't care less at this point. How are you, Daryl? Well rested?
Actually, no. No, I'm not.
Go on, tell me about that.
Because I don't know if you know, but I play rugby now. I'm a rugby lad.
4 games. 4 games in.
Is it 4 or is it 5?
Oh.
I think it's 4. So I set myself the challenge on Friday night that I wanted to get on the score sheet. And I knew the firsts weren't playing. So I had an opportunity to catch up on my arch nemesis, Will Morton. Well, there was a massive storm, Bert.
Storm Bert, yeah, which I didn't know anything about until it happened. And you're like, oh, it's Bert. Who the hell is Bert?
Yeah, so we wake up Saturday morning and you're like, there's no way in hell you're going to be going to playing rugby.
It was so windy.
And I kept checking my phone possibly every 30 seconds for the message to say, sorry boys, game's off. Enjoy your Saturday. Well, that text message, that message on Facebook never came. So down I went into literally the arse end of nowhere.
Yeah, it really was, wasn't
and
it?
There was like proper branches in the road and you just think, why? The wind was terrible. So anyway, we end up in Roseland. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Roselands, yeah.
Well, actually, it was in Philly with a PH. And it is minging down there. Wasn't raining. It was saving that for the start of the training session before the match.
Waiting for kickoff.
So we go. You got to walk 1/4 mile from the changing room
to the pitch.
Yes.
Crikey, I'd be exhausted before we even start.
Exactly. So anyway, we go to war. It was great. Like, we hated them during that match. They hated us. Every tackle, every run was like intense.
Yeah.
And I did it. I scored a try.
Yay!
I was so close to dropping the ball.
Don't matter, you didn't though.
I didn't. And well, anyway, so my last participation of the game in the dying minutes when we're trying to score a try because we were 7 points down, I do a fantastic tackle. However, as I went to land on the lad, his knee comes up and it catches me in my rib back area. It was all a bit of a blur. All of a sudden, I can't breathe because the wind's been knocked out of me. And then I start making some weird noises.
Grunting.
It was proper grunting.
I can imagine.
And end of the match, we were unlucky not to win. Felt like we deserved to win.
Especially with your awesome try.
Exactly. But we didn't. So we go back after the match, go to this lovely pub. Can't remember the name of it, but it's the only thing in Philly. So if you know Philly, you'd probably know the pub. I get man of the match. And
what a player.
We have a lovely lasagna and chips, and then we go home. It's a long drive home when feeling like that, and I just thought, still got the adrenaline to get me through. Well, I woke up Sunday and we had the birthday party of our niece Molly.
Oh, yeah, 6-year-old's birthday party.
Which obviously I wasn't feeling great. I was feeling a bit of pain. I just thought it was after rugby knocks and, ribs hurting a bit, and backs hurting a bit.
Being the supportive wife that I am.
You dragged me
I made you come with this.
So anyway, Sunday night comes. I've got through the day and it just wasn't getting any better. So got through Monday, first day back at work. Felt grotty, but I got through it.
I mean, we all heard about it.
I don't know what you're on about.
A lot.
I wasn't getting any sympathy from you, was I? So,
no, I bought you some paracetamol and ibuprofen.
Oh, and some sweets.
And some sweets to make you feel better. See?
Great for the weight loss that I'm trying to do, which we'll come on to later. So, Tuesday, I speak to an online doctor and they say, we recommend you just go and get checked out because it sounds like it's very close to your kidneys. Better off getting it checked. So we went to, after a bit of research into wait times with the NHS, we figured that Liskeard was the better choice. It was closer, less of a wait. Well, we got down there. We're the only ones in there. Within 5 minutes, I was peeing into not a cup,
it's like a bowl
cardboard,
thing,
the sick bowl thing. And he said, can I have a little bit of wee? Well, of course, once I started, I filled that whole thing up and I had to apologise to the gentleman. It was quite funny. And then, whilst I was like taking my top off, because obviously he's got to check me out, this girl comes in and I didn't know what to do. So I just said, hi, I'm Daryl.
Was she like a nurse? Or?
Yeah, she was a nurse.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't just a cash bystander from Liskeard.
Lady from the waiting room.
Beryl, who's let you in here? So I was sort of diagnosed because he prodded me in the rib and I nearly cried and winced like mad. I've got a broken rib and I've done something to my lower back, but it's just muscular rather than anything else. So I am in agony.
Yeah, he's still milking it.
It's horrible.
I wouldn't know.
No, but it is horrible. And so I might not be my usual chirpy, charming self tonight.
No? But you are getting plenty of sleep.
Well, of course I am.
Especially when you have a whole bed to yourself all night. Happy days.
So
is that the end of your rugby career?
No, as soon as I can, I'll be back.
How long's recovery?
They said about 2 weeks.
2 weeks, my arse. For a broken bone?
No, they said 4 to 6, but we'll give it a couple of weeks.
That's after Christmas.
Magic sponge.
Yeah. I don't know if the magic sponge is going to magically put your... So is your rib going to go back together? Is it like snapped?
I don't know. They didn't x-ray me or anything.
That's interesting.
I think it's very clever that they could tell by just poking me and me nearly crying that, that's broke. So that's it. So the only things I've got really to look forward to now is the Christmas ball.
The rugby Christmas ball.
Yep. Going to a ball, Liz.
Going to a ball. Is it a ball?
It is a ball. It's called the Christmas ball.
Right. I think it's called the winter ball, isn't it?
Well, yeah. At Christmas time.
Right.
So anyway, actually, I've got a story on that. I had a extremely bad experience. So, as we've mentioned before, I overthink a little bit. So, when the ball tickets come up and I bought the tickets, I was like, oh my God, I think they wear tuxes. The lads wear tuxes. I haven't got a tuxedo.
Dinner jackets.
Whatever that is. Like, I don't dress up that often. I'm more of a joggers and hoodie type of guy.
I know.
That wasn't very nice. So we decided we would go shopping for a tuxedo. And we had a gift card knocking about. So we went to what I would class as a higher end place to try on some tuxedos because they had some nice ones. Well, I wouldn't class myself as a big guy.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Yes, I've got a lot of loving at the front. And, I've got a decent bit going on behind. But tuxedos are designed for flat people.
Is that a fact?
Yep. Flat people. So I don't understand how all these absolute units of humans, besides getting their nan to sew two tuxedos together, like, where are they getting them from? Like, so my heart goes out to all you bigger guys, because I couldn't fit into, they didn't have the size that I needed, so we had to assume that because I couldn't get my thigh into one pair, that it's going to be the next one up.
Yeah, we're talking trousers now, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about just the bulge. Like, I'm talking about the thighs and everything. And I am not a big guy.
Couldn't get your arse in them, could you?
No. And so now I've got to lose like a little bit, because the next size up, the arms were too long.
In the jacket, yeah.
In the jacket.
Yeah.
But the size down looked like I was making sausages.
Yeah, it was just a little bit tight. But the arms fit fine.
Yeah, so now I've got to try and lose a little bit of weight.
Oh, it's a minefield, isn't it?
Yeah, like...
Don't know how you cope.
Don't know, but it hurt my feelings.
It did, actually. You weren't overly impressed.
No. And I tried it on, and I look smart as.
It is a nice little suit you got there, yeah.
But, like, yeah. Don't want to do it too often. It's quite bad for the soul.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you weren't overly impressed, were you?
I really wasn't.
But then maybe that will spur you on to lose a little bit of weight before.
Yeah, so the only bit of fitness that I was doing, I no longer can do.
Not for a minute, anyway. Yeah, but you could also stop eating all the biscuits and sweets.
No.
Also, I've noticed you've gone back onto popcorn.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sweet popcorn.
Not like mad, but I just fancied it the other day.
Mm.
Don't worry, it's not a fad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a fad, but I'm tired. So yeah. Like, between me feeling like a heifer and hurting the ribs, hasn't been the best of weeks.
No, it hasn't really, is it?
No, but I did win the meat raffle at training.
Fabulous.
And I got man of the match. So
yeah, you got a try, you got man of the match.
The cup is still half full.
Well, yeah, your cup was very full.
But yeah, I can't even, like, walk the dog.
Don't I bloody know about it.
And I was thinking about this the other day. If, for whatever reason, Barry was no longer, and that this is purely hypothetical.
No longer as in?
Dead. Yeah. Run over by a tractor.
I'd like to think he'd outrun it. I don't know, he's stupid enough, isn't he?
Yeah. He'd more likely to run into it. Hypothetically, if Barry was dead, would we get another dog?
If he was no longer with us, so say he lived out his life to a ripe old age of, I don't know, what's the average age for a Labrador?
Like 13,
14,
yeah.
something like that. That's another 10 years. So another 10 years of him, would we then get another one? Well, we would then be mid-40s. Well, you'd be mid-40s, I'd be early 40s. You want that responsibility? Or do you just want to be able to enjoy not having that responsibility? Because it's a big responsibility having a dog.
I think we'd have a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old. 12-year-old can take dog out.
Not a chance. Never are they going to be allowed to take the dog out on their own. Ever.
A 12-year-old?
Yeah, they'll lose it. No, do you know why? Because you see these kids nowadays walking their dogs with all their little posse friends. I just think, no. I don't think we would get another one. You couldn't replace him, could you? Obviously, he'd be dead, so you wouldn't be replacing him, but...
No, we'd just get a better one. Yeah.
What? You couldn't get any better than him. Look at him. What a beautiful boy.
I mean, he's all right now.
He's asleep.
No, I would like to get another dog.
But it's funny you say that, because you never even liked dogs.
No,
you
I know.
used to tell me you were scared of dogs.
I was.
I think it's a load of codswallop.
So what was I then?
I'm just imagining it.
Doesn't everybody imagine anything?
Oh, here we go.
Is that not true?
No, I just think it was just... It's
So
a
you
bit like the time you told me you don't like lasagna,
So
but you'd never tried it.
you don't like spiders, right?
Well, I'd rather not be around a spider.
Isn't that just in your head?
No, it's normally run across the fucking floor, or up the wall.
But it's all in your head.
Just don't like them.
See?
Snakes are the worst thing.
Again, snakes never done anything to you.
Yeah, but they could.
You haven't even had a proper interaction with a snake.
Oh, it's like slow worms. They're just as bad.
Slow worms?
Yeah, but they're long and unpredictable. So back to the original question.
Sorry, yeah.
I don't think we would. Because don't you, knowing that our children would be like 10 and 12, don't you think if we then got another dog for another 13, 14 years, the children would have moved out, gone to uni or whatever, like won't be with us, so it would just be us. Don't you think we would want like a whole new lease of life of not having the children with us? But no, we'd have to constantly be thinking, oh, I need to go home and sort the dog, or I need to go and take the dog out. Or if there's another storm burst, we've still got to take the dog out.
I don't understand what we'd be doing instead.
We could, anything, the world would be our oyster. Look, I'm not saying we're never going to get another dog. I'm just saying, I'm just giving you.
You just sat.
I'm just putting it out there.
We were just sat here like.
Not talking, looking around the room. What does this room need? Oh yeah, a dog. That's what it needs. I just think dogs are such huge commitments.
Yeah, they are.
They are.
But I think that was the start of our career, wasn't it?
Our career as parents.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. He taught us what it's like to get frustrated with disobedience.
Yeah, and it's like there are similarities between children and dogs, isn't there?
Yeah, potty training.
Yeah. But like, after about 6 months, you can't leave a child at home for 8 hours.
No, I'd probably say that's frowned upon. Barry don't get left for 8 hours. God, he's lucky if he gets left for a bloody hour.
Yeah. And can't chuck him outside if he's doing your head in. Couldn't do that with a child.
Well, children can go outside.
We need to get a playhouse, actually.
Go on, out into your own little house. Off you go. They're getting one for Christmas.
Ooh.
Mother's buying them.
Yeah, that's another thing, actually, isn't it?
What's that?
Christmas presents for children.
Like,
I don't know where I sit on the scale.
Do you know what Jackson's getting for Christmas from us?
What is he getting?
He's getting. It's really exciting. This is really exciting. He is getting a bath mat.
Yes.
Right. So that he doesn't slip and slide in the bath. And there's more. He's getting bath toys.
So I think there's a little bit of favouritism here.
Why? Lyra's
because
already got bath toys.
I wanted to get Lyra.
I wanted a bath mat.
Yeah. Well, how many times have me and you nearly slipped over in the bath?
I did, didn't I? Do you remember that when I was pregnant with Lyra?
Yeah.
I got in the bath and slipped and my leg was black.
And all I wanted to tell you was that
I should have got a bath
told
mat.
you. But I didn't. I had to hold it in with fear of death.
Yeah, so that's what Jackson's got for Christmas. I mean, he is a lucky, lucky boy.
Yeah, right. Lyra is getting a playhouse.
No. That's
and
for
a
Jackson
bike.
and Lyra. The playhouse, because Jackson
can't even walk.
Yeah, but he will.
What are we going to do? Just dump him in there?
Yeah, he'll be all right. We're not getting that. Mother's getting that for them.
Yeah, I know. Mother is Liz's mum.
Yes. Yeah, they are together getting a playhouse. It's big as well. We're going to have to find a good home for it. Obviously in the garden somewhere, not inside the house.
Yeah.
But they probably would want it inside the house, to be fair.
But yeah, like, what I mean by I don't know where I sit on the fence is I want to give my children everything, but I also very much think they don't need anything. At this stage in their life, like, Lyra loves interaction with us.
I mean, she's got this. She doesn't need anything else in her life.
No, like, I'm a hoot to be around.
That is true, though, isn't it? Not the hoot bit.
What?
That she doesn't need anything. It's like Jackson doesn't need anything. They don't, because we get them everything they could possibly need. And they're too young to want things. Do you know what I mean?
What they need is routine.
Discipline.
Well, yeah, and room to be able to learn stuff.
They just need snuggles with their mummy in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
That's what they need. That helps them grow.
But then I also understand why people who can go absolutely nuts. And
Yeah, I imagine those people might be quite disgusted with what Jackson's got for Christmas from us. I mean, honestly, he's going to be 6 months old. What do you seriously get a 6-month-old that needs nothing because he has everything he could possibly need?
yeah.
A bath mat. There you go. He hasn't got one of those.
Yeah, because I thought he wanted a case of Guinness.
Shut your mouth. I brought you a case of Guinness.
Yeah.
All right?
And then moaned about me putting one can in the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing that for?
Who puts Guinness in the fridge? I never thought it was chilled.
It is.
I don't know why I think that. I think because it's quite heavy.
It is a stout.
Yeah, I don't imagine it in the fridge. But you are now clogging up the fridge with your bloody can. Get on and drink it.
And, well, yeah, because you filled it with vegetables and fruit. My little skinny mini.
I know.
Tell everyone that. Almost didn't see you come in.
I know. I've been doing quite well with the old weight loss journey, haven't I?
Yeah.
So I am currently on minus 1 stone, 10.5 pounds in 7 weeks.
I was going to say, what's the duration?
In 7 weeks. That's pretty good, isn't it?
No, that's very, very good. And it's quite a healthy amount each week.
I'm actually really shocked myself that I still feel like super motivated.
And you were saying, which I thought was really interesting, and which clearly makes a massive difference, is the last couple of times you've done Slimming World, you've always had that cheat meal.
Yeah.
On the evening after you've weighed, and then spend the rest of the week trying to claw it back, basically, or not even counting it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Whereas this time you haven't done that. I
haven't done that at all.
No.
And what I think helps with that is, obviously I'm in the right frame of mind, which is a huge help, but I also weigh at like 11 o'clock in the morning. So it's not like I weigh at 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening and then you can come home, have your tea and then pig out on a chocolate bar or a cake or something really, really naughty. By weighing at 11 o'clock, it's like, oh, okay, I've still got to have lunch, I've still got to have tea, and then it would be the cheat bit after tea. Like in my mind, I'm like, well, then it would be the cheat bit. But I then don't want to do it because I've been so good and I've had my lunch and I've had my tea. So, I think that helped. But also, I was saying to one of the ladies today, she commented and said, oh, you're doing really well. Keep going. And where do you find your motivation from? And I said, I think the easiest thing for me at the minute is the fact that because I'm at home, like I'm not going to work, am I?
No.
So I have the time, because I'm at home, to have breakfast, lunch and tea. And to be able to actually think about what we're going to eat and what the proportion of, like, they call it speed food and free food, like what proportion of that can be on my plate, rather than having like just a shit ton of pasta or a whole load of potato or something to fill me up. Actually, I can properly work it out because I've got the time, because I'm at home. Whereas if I was at work, we would just carry on eating what we were eating.
Yeah, I think you've been better at portions as well.
I am trying, because that's a huge thing for me. And it doesn't help that our plates are so big though. So when you just put like a normal sized portion of food on our plate, it looks like there's nothing on your plate.
Yeah, if you were at somebody else's house and they just had smaller plates, it would fill them up.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't notice it.
Maybe we need to invest in different crockery.
I mean, we haven't changed crockery in 7 years.
Exactly.
And they are all chipped and stuff.
Maybe that's what we could buy each other for Christmas.
No. I will happily buy that for you for Christmas.
No, that is not a me present. That's an us present.
Yeah, but I'm quite nostalgic with stuff like that. I'm like, oh, we could be Greek there in the end.
We could smash them up.
Yeah.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we'll get Lyra up on the top.
No. The children were not allowed to be involved in it, because then they would think it's acceptable to do that with all the plates.
Oh, imagine the fun she would have, though.
I remember I did it with Mother years and years ago. I was a teenager and we were all in the kitchen. God knows why. But we were all in the kitchen and it's quite late in the evening. I don't know if I was doing the dishes or if I was just lingering whilst Mother was doing the dishes. But I was holding a plate and I said, oh, I've really got this urge to throw this plate on the floor. You ever just have that sort of urge to just do that? Like, just want to see what happens. And Mother was like, go on then. And then I was like, no, I couldn't possibly do that. She was like, yeah, go on. I was like, no. Well, then she grabbed it out of my hand and threw it on the floor and it smashed. Well, if Mother's done it, I'm going to do it. So then I smashed a plate on the floor. Honestly, it was fabulous fun.
I imagine it to be quite therapeutic.
Do you know, it really was.
I go to one of those Wreck-It rooms or whatever they're called.
Oh, yes. I knew nothing about these. So Joe at work said to me, oh, you need to go to whatever the room's called. Is it Wreck-It?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's right there on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, she said, you need to go to one. You'll love it. I said, what flipping heck is... She goes, oh, you go to a room and you basically either get like a baseball bat or a weapon of choice and you just smash things up.
Yeah, it sounds good.
I mean, it sounds like a fabulous time out.
I imagine it to be quite expensive though.
Well, yeah.
Because imagine the insurance.
Yeah, well, this is it because things will come flying around all over the place.
Obviously, you'd wear PPE and sign a disclaimer.
Some big fat goggles.
Yeah. But it does sound good, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's going to annoy me now. I need to find out what that's called.
Is it called stress rooms or?
What did you call it?
Wreck-It.
Oh, there is one called Wreck-It.
Is there actually?
Yeah, it's in Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
Rage room.
Rage room.
A rage room.
Fair enough.
Take out all your rage, or it'd work the opposite way. You'd start smashing shit up, and then you'd get raged. And then you'd come out and you just... You'd be really hyped up after it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Or we
shattered.
should do it. Yeah, I'd be exhausted.
Let's look into it.
We should do that. Again, not with the children.
No.
That could be a Yui and Laura, Daz and Liz day out.
Yeah, we do like a day out, don't we?
We do.
What was I going to say to you?
Sorry, I've just been like babbling on.
You really have. Another thing I wanted to talk about was because our lovely friend Amy fed back on some of the podcast episodes, and she said that we should discuss what it's like living with somebody with mental health issues.
She did, yes.
And it's a really good idea. So, what is it like?
What is it like? It's easier now than what it was. So when you were first off work all those years ago, it was only about 3 years ago, wasn't it? 3-4 years ago, something.
Yeah, it's
something
probably more like 4 or 5 now.
Yeah.
Time's gone.
Then, like, as much as I'd been around people who did struggle with their mental health, hadn't been quite that close to somebody. And obviously, at the time, it was only the two of us at home. Didn't even have the dog, did we?
No.
And it was hard. It was bloody hard because I wouldn't want to go to work because just through huge fear of not knowing what I was going to come home to. I didn't know if A, you'd be here, or B, if you might have done something a bit daft, or if you just had a really awful day but not told me about it until I then got home and then was just absolutely distraught. Do you know what I mean? Like, I never knew what I was coming home to.
Oh my God, that's so sad. Because I knew that I was never in that place.
No, and you told me several times you're not in that place.
But then you hear all these horror, like, so sad stories.
Yeah.
So I do get it. But I do truly understand now how people get to that point.
Yeah, whereas I've never been I've never gone through what you've gone through, so I can't see it from like that point of view.
What I think it is this has gone very somber, hasn't it?
Yeah, sorry.
But it's not wanting to feel that way anymore.
Yeah.
So you can go through all the therapy, on how to manage your stuff.
Mm.
But at some point, certain people will be like, do you know what? I don't want to manage that anymore. I don't want to feel that anymore.
Yeah, like I'm done. I'm done with that.
And that's their only way.
It's awful.
And that is so sad, but I do understand how they get to that place.
Yeah.
And I'm so forever grateful that I had such good support around.
Yeah.
You know, like your brother came up, didn't say anything. He just turned up. What's going on then? You know, he knew something was
happening.
Something was up. And just that one question made me feel a bit better. Yeah. And yeah, it's such a shame because some people do use it as a cry for help. And I guess they don't know any other way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, so at the beginning that's what it was awful.
What was I like?
What do you mean? What were you like?
Like what was I don't really obviously I was me.
Yeah, but no, you weren't. You weren't. You were just weren't there. Like you were obviously there physically, you were there, but there was no conversation with you. There were no light-hearted anything. There was no chatting. You were just so unhappy with the situation that you'd found yourself in. No amount of trying to talk it through was going to like pull you out of it.
It was just time, wasn't it?
Yeah, like you were honestly so unhappy. But you used to say to me like, I'm not going to do anything stupid and I don't feel like that. But no, you can say that all you like. I still didn't know.
Yeah.
I still didn't know what I was coming home to. And that's horrible. That's a horrible feeling.
Yeah.
But also, on the flip of that, I found it so frustrating. So frustrating because in my mind, and I'm still a little bit like it now, but nowhere near as bad. In my mind, I was like, well, just get on with it. Like, don't sit around on the sofa all day and do nothing. Like, get up and do something. Just go outside. Go and speak to people. Go to the doctors. Like, why can't you just ring the doctor? Like, don't be so ridiculous. That frustrated me to no end because I didn't fully appreciate actually you couldn't physically do it.
No.
Something in your mind and your body was like, no, I cannot do that through fear or whatever.
It's weird. It's so weird. And the fact that everybody's like different, there's no like cure or anything.
No.
But understanding the science behind it helped me.
Yeah, no, totally. And like I understand all of that. But yeah, for me it was being totally scared half to death, the pure frustration, and then finally there was that like I think when you started therapy, it was like that sudden like there was that little glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel and you think, and I suddenly thought, okay, we are getting somewhere now. Because it was bloody awful. It was awful. But I'm so grateful that I could be there and support you throughout it.
I'll be forever grateful, you know. Like...
Yeah, no, I know. I just, I think about it every now and again. I think, well, what if things were different and like I wasn't there?
Did that ever cross your mind?
What's that? Leaving you? Oh, God, no. No.
That's nice to know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I would have responded otherwise. You're like,
yeah, so I was thinking, right, I'm gone.
I still think about it every day.
I should have taken the opportunity.
No, but I do think that's the big test, isn't it? It's a massive undertaking of you to suddenly take on that responsibility of everything.
Yeah, and I think what also like used to get to me quite a lot, and I know it got to you as well, is the way some people treated you during that time.
Yeah.
Like, some people like close to you treated you appallingly. And that's still really winds me up to this day. And I mean, I'm not one to hold a grudge, but my God, I still think about certain things that happened then that I will never forgive now.
Yeah.
Of those people.
Yeah, I get that.
But I think that was all part of the whole being worried and the frustration and the whole thing. Then just people added to that.
Yeah, because it's little things can happen by pure stupidity.
Have just no thought sometimes, no thought.
And there's no, like, yeah, people do things and say things thinking that they were trying to help.
Mm.
And it's hilarious how they thought that was going to help.
Well, looking back on it now, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm still not laughing about it, but yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't mean hilarious in a laughing sense. I mean like
hilarious as in what sort of fucking planet are you on?
It's just you're right, actually. Some people just don't get it.
Mm.
And aren't willing to try and get it.
Yeah.
And I think those people were the ones that really got to me the most.
Yeah.
Fair enough. If you don't understand something, everybody has things like that. But people who are, I'm right, you're wrong, and not willing to...
Yeah, I mean, you can't have too many people like that in your life, Daz, because I'm very much like that now. I am right and you are wrong.
Yes.
And there's no grey area there. So get rid of the rest of them.
Do I have a choice?
Nope.
No, it is odd though, isn't it? And like, I don't know, I do, on a brighter side of things, I do think we became closer because of it.
100%. Absolutely.
Like, we got to know each other, you know, like this, you know, in sickness and in health, for better, for worse. Like, that was probably, and I sincerely hope, the lowest of the low that I will ever reach.
Yeah.
And you've seen all of me in that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I genuinely hope that I don't ever have to see that in you.
I'd be a bloody night.
I think you'd be the opposite.
I don't talk about things.
I know. I think you'd end up being manic rather than lethargic like I was.
Yeah, I'm pretty manic as it is. So yeah. You imagine if I got more manic, this house would be bloody spotless. I tell you, there'd be nothing anywhere.
So yeah, thank you, Amy, for bringing that up, because actually it's really important. And to any spouses, friends, family members that are looking after and being there for people, you are really appreciated, even if they don't say it.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing, isn't it? Like, because it was never said, but you know it. Like, I always knew that you appreciated me just being there, just coming home at the end of the day.
Just sitting in silence with someone.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I did. I tied myself up in games and that sort of thing, and I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. I think what happens if games weren't there to get lost in, to help in that situation.
I think that when it goes to the extreme, though, isn't it? Yeah,
completely agree. And it could have.
You're so engrossed and can't pull yourself out.
No, but in moderation, which was probably a little bit more than moderation.
We've talked about that on a previous podcast.
But in moderation, I think it was really helpful. Because without that, I could have been even more in my own head.
Well, you could have spiraled so much more. Of course you could have.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there you go. Yeah, thank you, Amy.
And
here we go.
Had a new opportunity come up this week.
Look out, everyone. Look out.
So, last week's episode that was released, obviously I did it a couple of weeks prior, was with Rachel Bullock.
Yes, good episode, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Really enjoyed it. Quite liked the how informative Rachel is about the history of everything, really. Saltash,
It was mad, wasn't it?
the castles,
I just-
everything.
I just sat there like, that's all in your head.
I know. It was actually fascinating. Certain
So-
dates of assassinations. I mean,
Yeah,
phenomenal, really.
I struggle with birthdays.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
you don't even know what day of the week it is today. Anyway, sorry.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, off the back of that, I have been trying for weeks and weeks and weeks to get a post on the Saltash group because 99% of the people that I speak with are from Saltash originally, and they've gone on to do amazing things. And some of them are still in Saltash and do amazing things for the community and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a really good platform to put it on. And I got a message, and Wayne, the person who set up the Saltash group, messaged me and said he'd like me to come on board. And I was extremely thrilled because I've worked really hard with the podcast.
I think it's great that they've asked you to be part of the Saltash group.
And also, I like the fact that he said, I want something from you. I want you to help us moderate, and we'll help you get your word out of your podcast. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's brilliant because, like, think of the people you could reach and make contact with now.
Yeah, it's like
who could have some really interesting stories and hobbies and jobs or whatever.
For me, it's the next level up in the podcast. And interestingly, he asked me, he said, so what's the plan with it? With the podcast? I was like, I haven't got a clue. I just really enjoy doing it.
No 10-year plan over here.
No. Like, I mean, obviously, if I could do this full time, if there was a form of sponsorship, which is easily, sponsorship plans are doable and that. But for the minute, I'm just really enjoying it.
Yeah, good. It becomes a chore. That's when you have to start reevaluating.
Yeah, and there are moments.
Oh yeah, whatever. I get it.
Like this week, for example, we've had a cancellation, and I hadn't planned to have a cancellation. That's a faff, and it can't be helped. Like, people are people, things happen.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But I never quite get break where I've always got a few in the bag.
Yeah, you've got things lined up, haven't you? But I know what you mean.
Yeah. But it's opened my eyes to things that I could do and show off in the community. I've been thinking about, I had two ideas so far.
Okay.
One is a mini YouTube series where I go and sit down with local business owners and just do a really short... Was that your idea?
Yeah, it was, but it's okay. You can have it. You take it. Keep going.
No. Liz, we're doing a podcast. That is your idea.
What's mine is yours.
So I stole an idea off Liz.
I'm waiting for your next idea. That might be mine as well.
Second idea is...
No, hang on. You didn't finish telling us what the first idea was.
Right. Should we start?
Start that again.
So I've had a couple of ideas on where to take the podcast and do little side things. Because as I'm getting better with editing, it's not taking as long. So it does free me up for a bit more time.
And who wants to spend more time with their wife?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I thought about doing a mini YouTube series of... I've mucked it up again.
No, mini YouTube series of...
Yeah, so I thought about... That's really wrong. Credit goes to you. You suggested it, and then I thought about it and how I would do it. So
you're welcome.
Thank you. Good wife.
The suggestion
Pat
was...
on the back. Mini YouTube series of local business owners. So in a shorter format than a podcast, for example.
And on video.
Video.
Very good.
Yeah. So...
What a great suggestion.
What a great suggestion. And another thing, which I haven't told anybody yet, was well, I haven't even asked you yet, actually.
Oh, here we go.
Was a podcast series called Double Date.
God. How did I know I'd somehow get involved with this?
Where we sit and we chat with other couples on a recorded and ask them awkward questions.
Well, you are the best at asking awkward questions.
Oh my God. I love asking awkward questions.
That sounds all right, actually. That would be okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? And that's it, really. Those are my 2 side ideas of something else, something a bit different.
Because Daz needs more to do in his life. He doesn't have enough already with, children and the dog and the podcast and his rugby, everything else. He has now got 2 more side hustles to add.
None of which get any money. Why can't I come up with an idea that's going to make us money?
Why can't you invent something?
Yeah.
You could be an inventor, couldn't you?
I bet that's frustrating.
Oh, be an inventor. Oh, yeah. Because you probably, nowadays, I imagine nowadays, people invent things, but it's like, actually, that's already a thing. You just don't know about it.
There's a funny bit on the Carl Pilkington show or whatever it was called.
He's a funny chap.
Where he was like, back in the day, it was so easy to invent stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Whereas now, you look on Temu or Shein or whatever it's called, anything like that. They've got gadgets that there is no need, really.
I know.
However, for like 50p,
you give it a go.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a gadget I've bought, which is fabulous. I don't know if you've seen it. A cutter, a dinosaur cutter. So when I make Lyra sandwiches, because normal bread's boring, I make the sandwich and then I cut it in the shape of 2 dinosaurs.
And that's incredible.
She loves it. Eats all her sandwich, doesn't she?
That's funny.
Little gadget you never knew you needed.
So, is there anything else you want?
Anything else I want to talk about? I feel like I've talked an awful lot. I've probably talked more than you have.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that, everyone. I just feel like I had a lot to say.
Yeah. I find now I save up things that I want to talk about.
Yeah, so we don't actually talk. Darryl and I don't talk at all. So he comes home from work. We obviously have the children, we go to bed, they go to bed, and then we don't talk. That's it. That's our evening done. And then, apparently saves it all up for a little chat. A little sofa chats.
Oh, I'll tell you what we haven't talked about.
Go on.
My away day. My bus trip.
Your bus trip?
Yeah. My rugby bus trip to Truro.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere, not something that's already happened. Go on then.
So,
tell us about your bus trip.
Everything that you assume with a rugby bus trip, it's all lies.
Is this me specifically, or
no, anyone who's listening? They're like, oh, blokes and being blokes and all that, whatever that is. Well, no, this is how sophisticated it was. We get on the bus, and as gentlemen should do, we had to wear drinking hats. So hats that we would be drinking in.
Right.
So we turn up, we do that, got our hats, we play rugby, and then because I retired and came back.
Retired. Yeah.
I was classed as a bus virgin.
Right.
So
of course you were.
Yeah, so bus virgins, well, their virginity needs to be taken. So where you think, well, what heinous thing do you do? Oh, what did they make you do? Well, I had some wine.
Oh, how sophisticated of you.
I know. So I drank wine. I couldn't put it down. It was that good. Couldn't put it down. And then we get to Truro.
Truro.
Exactly. And off the bus we get. And we go to a local Spoons.
Upper class.
Yep. And I got adopted. Because at some point I got bored of doing all the blokey stuff. So I sat down at a women's table and started chatting.
What women's table?
Just, I don't know.
Oh, they didn't come with you?
No.
They're just randoms.
Yeah, we sang Happy Birthday
Was it one of their birthdays?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so I sat down because I was fed up of being all blokey. I just wanted to have a chat with some female. So then,
Of course you did.
I'm pretty sure I got adopted by a lesbian couple.
Sure, why not? Why not?
And they were like, Daryl, you're not like normal rugby lad.
No, you're not.
And I was like, I don't know what you mean, darling. And then, even funnier, 2 weeks later. No, not 2 weeks later. Oh, it could be 2 weeks later.
In the future.
I get a random message on Instagram and it says, hey. And it was somebody who I'd been blabbing about the podcast to. And they're going to come on and do an episode.
Fabulous. Wow. There you go.
This boy does not stop grafting.
No, even after he couldn't put his wine down. And whatever else came with that.
Yeah, but I wasn't poorly. I was reasonably okay the next day.
You were you?
Yeah. Fine.
I'm just trying to remember when you got home. You walked home, didn't you, from the bus?
Oh, that was a long walk home.
I mean, it's really not a long walk home, but yes,
Because
it probably took you a while to get home. Was I in bed when you got home?
yes, because Mr. Rayner, local businessman, good man, said, one more, Daryl, one more. So we went into the Ploughboy, and I got in there and was like, nope. And
You do that on nights out. You just suddenly go, right, I'm going home, and off you go. Bye.
yeah,
Like to the point where you've left us, before you've left me in the club.
I think we spoke about this before, haven't
Probably,
we?
yeah. Yeah, you do that. Yeah, I remember you coming home. Bear in mind, it's only a couple of weeks ago. You were very drunk,
I
actually.
was very drunk.
So Daryl's got this thing when he's had a few. He comes home, he tries to feel sensible and sober, and you just see, like, you just look at him and you think, oh my god, he's wasted, absolutely tanked. And he starts telling you a story. It's going on and on and on, and this story is really not that interesting, but it's going on and on and on. And then 10 minutes later, maybe even 15 minutes later, after you just sat there going, yeah, ooh, yeah. There he goes. Anyway, long story short, and then he tells you the end. Right. I'd fucking hate to be on the end of one of your long stories, Daz. Jesus. But you do it every time. Every time. You almost give me a minute-by-minute account of your night, and I just go, yeah, I just want to go to bed, Daz. Just shut up and get into bed. And then you get into bed and you're like, blah, 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 blah. Just shut up. Still trying to sleep.
Well, talking of long story short, that was my away day bus trip with the rugby lads.
You do feel like you're a lad again, don't you?
Absolutely not.
A young
I'm
lad.
sat here with a broken rib,
Remember that one?
bad back.
He's got bad back. He's got bad back. Got bad back. Got broken rib. It's time to retire, Daz.
Nope.
From rugby, I mean, not from work. You still need to work. You still have to go every day.
Yeah. So, there we have it, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. It's really nice just having a casual chat. If you guys do have any topics you want us to talk about, discuss, we are more than happy to include it in our episodes. So, for now, cheers.